of this vertical soil tube they've constructed. But we have another way to look inside. So let's have an exclusive look at the nest interior of these new ants of ours, shall we? We'll try to be respectful. If we're gentle, they'll allow us to stay a while. Pushing the great rock rampart to the side. Easy, family. Behold, the stone nest of our brand new Diacama rugosum ants. Ants I call the bullet ants of Asia, but are also commonly known as Bornean queenless ants. These ants are huge and incredible. Let me first address what you guys might be wondering. Are these ants related to the famous bullet ants of South America? No, they're not. These ladies belong to a different subfamily of ants and are native to Asia. However, appearance-wise and behavior-wise, there are similarities. But you know what? In my opinion, these Diacama ants are a ton more epic than bullet ants of South America. Like bullet ants, these Diacama rugosum ants are extremely aggressive and have a notoriously powerful sting. When working around them, I always use tweezers and never approach with bare skin. But unlike bullet ants, as you heard in their common name, this species of ant is queenless. That's right, the colony you see here lacks a queen. This entire colony is composed of workers, and they eagerly moved in here 2 weeks ago. So how do they reproduce if they don't have a queen, you ask? Well, their life cycle is pretty incredible and actually completely hacks one of the weaknesses in ant reproduction. You see, in an ordinary ant colony, there is a single queen who was born a queen, mates during a nuptial flight, then founds her colony of workers. But if ever this queen were to die, the colony cannot invent a new queen to start laying eggs. The workers just kind of keep working until they all die out naturally. But the colony as a whole cannot continue on because the primary egg layer, i.e. the queen, is no longer around to lay eggs. So, once the queen dies, the colony eventually dies. But with these amazing Diacama ants, yes, the colony is composed of all workers. But here's what's amazing. One of these workers, usually the most dominant one, is a mated worker ant, acting as the colony queen. She is known as the gamergate. This gamergate lays all the eggs and otherwise acts as the queen. But appearance-wise, she is a worker and is hard to spot among the normal
It's so serious about his
I have tried to find the gamergate in this colony of 40 or so workers, particularly when they moved in last week, but I haven't had any luck. They all look identical to me. Do you guys see the gamergate? Her gaster, or ant butt, is slightly enlarged with eggs, but still so hard to find. Anyway, here's where their hack comes in. If this gamergate were to die, unlike in ordinary ants where the death of the queen means the inevitable death of the colony, in Diacama ants, a new young worker can assume the position of gamergate and become the new primary egg layer. This new potential gamergate-to-be would release a pheromone which attracts outside male Diacama alates into the nest, who then mate with her, thereby making her the new gamergate, so she can produce fertile eggs to keep the colony going. Isn't that just crazy? But guys, that's not all. It gets totally savage from here. Because all these workers desire to become the gamergate, essentially the queen, there are constant squabbles between new young worker ants wanting to be the gamergate and the current standing gamergate, who must defend her crown. Now look at how cutthroat this entire system is. All new workers emerging from pupae have two little buds, appendages on their thorax called gemmi. The presence of these gemmi cause worker ants to become fertile workers and play a role at producing the hormones which cause workers to challenge the gamergate for her crown. So what does the current gamergate do to secure the safety of her crown as gamergate? She waits for new workers to emerge from their pupae, and with the help of her loyal workers, they tear off the gemmi of new adult ants freshly emerged from pupae, thereby rendering them infertile and loyal to the gamergate. This is how the gamergate keeps her status. In fact, if a gamergate of the colony were to die, all newly enclosed workers from pupae end up keeping their gemmi and engage in a huge battle royale to become the new gamergate and mate with males entering the nest. It's some pretty intense and Game of Thrones type stuff. But the gamergate is very meticulous at making sure her workers, essentially her daughters and possibly sisters, do not overthrow her. The colony of the species do not grow too large, only about a couple hundred workers max, so disarming challengers via gemmi removal is manageable. Oh yeah, and being a gamergate also prolongs lifespan. Another important perk of being the colony gamergate. So as expected, securing this highly coveted role in the colony does sometimes lead to squabbles that cause sustained injuries. Meet a worker I have come to call Stiffleg. Due to her hind legs, she keeps suspended in the air as she moves about. I see her around often, foraging the Shire for food. Despite her injuries, she is quite active and pulls her weight at hunting for food. Stiffleg here must have been one of those workers who for some reason wasn't quote-unquote Gemi-castrated at pupil emergence. She went untouched into adulthood and probably eventually went on to challenge the current Gamergate, who later managed to subdue her and remove her Gemi. Either that, or their old Gamergate died, and she along with other sisters fought for dominance to become the new Gamergate, and later lost her battle, but not without sustained injury to her leg. Whatever the case, Stiffleg is an ant I look forward to seeing every day, going about her daily business for the colony. Despite the seemingly cutthroat social system of these Diakema ants, they are highly loyal and strongly bonded to each other. They groom and massage each other, and care lovingly for the young and their Gamergate. But now the moment I know you've all been waiting for. Perhaps their most impressive feature of all is their amazing hunting prowess. Each one of these ants is a skilled huntress, each with a stinger capable of delivering a lethal sting to all prey they find. I love watching them hunt. Each ant hunts singly, leaving no rock unturned, no crevice unchecked. Those large antennae are perfect for seeking out insects to kill and take home to the colony. These ants love their meat. So AC family, let's feed these bloodthirsty werewolves, shall we? Here is a small pre-killed cockroach, which I shall place into the Shire. Now let's see how long it takes for one of these ants to find it. Waiting. Waiting. Still waiting.
How come the driver didn't...
Here one comes. It didn't take more than a few seconds.
With snow.
The ant inspects the cockroach, identifies that it is dead, and decides to spare her energy and stinger. She starts to carry her tasty find back to the nest. Doing so is not an easy task, however. This roach is heavy, but it doesn't stop her, as she is incredibly strong, as she maneuvers this cockroach skillfully over the uneven terrain. But then she comes to the foot of their vertical tube nest entrance. She clearly is having troubles bringing the cockroach upwards. She struggles to secure her footing. It's too difficult. How will she ever manage to get this roach up? Then, suddenly, along comes one of her nestmates and eagerly hops in to help. Look at that teamwork. It does seem like it's a long way up to the nest entrance. Come on, ladies, you can do it. Just when help was needed most, along comes a third worker to help with the lift. Even with 3 workers, it's a bit of a challenge. But look at how interestingly these ants deal with this challenge. Instead of just endlessly pulling on the cockroach in vain, they will periodically let go in order to survey the path around them to better understand how to effectively pull the roach up. What an incredible display of ant intelligence. Right, AC family? Finally, a brilliant idea. One of them decides to pull and climb up the side of the stone, and the other ants follow suit. And into the nest entrance they plunge. They drag their new day's worth of food into the nest, where it is taken to one of the deeper chambers for further breakdown. Wasn't that just epic? But AC family, wait, there's more. If you thought that was cool, that was just a small roach that didn't put up a fight. Watch how the scene plays out when the prey item is much larger and puts up a bit of a fight. This pre-killed superworm, though pre-crushed and split, is still capable of movement due to the nature of its nervous system. Here comes a worker. She inspects the superworm and deems it worthy to take home. It seems motionless, so she proceeds to drag it back to the nest. But this superworm is heavy. assist. And together they attempt to transport the kill. Again, this is not easy. But then along comes a third worker. And a fourth. Then a fifth. Even with 5 ants working on dragging the superworm home, the task seems quite difficult. Finally, some progress. A wedge over the bumpy ground. I love watching this take-home process. Look at how brilliantly this worker is navigating and problem-solving along the way across this difficult terrain. The other ants notice that she is making headway, allowing her to do her thing, thereby not impeding her progress while also saving their collective energy for when they're really needed. They move up ahead to survey the path back to the nest. One even returns to the nest to let the nestmates know of the big prize coming soon. They all can't wait to taste their first superworm. But suddenly, the superworm starts to twitch, making it difficult for the ants. This is where things get intense. The ants react by stinging the superworm, which causes even greater thrashing by the superworm. It wasn't long though before the neurotoxin from the ant stings kick in and the superworm officially becomes incapable of further movement, making it easy for the ants to proceed with transport. These ants are truly the definition of savage. The mix of sheer power, intelligence, strength, cooperation, and venom lethality make them, in my books, some of the most deadly insect predators in the ecosystems they are part of. There is no doubt that they are the great rulers of the Shire. The ants within the nest all inspect this massive delicacy as it is paraded through the main tunnel and into the food chamber where it is stored along with a cockroach carcass from earlier. I even see a brood pile there to the left. What's amazing is the larvae of this species are capable of feeding themselves. The workers just need to leave food near them, and the larvae consume their fill. These 2 food items will definitely nourish our colony for the day, and in the morning, one of the workers will assume the duty of disposing the leftovers just as they always do, every morning. So AC family, I think you know what time it is. Time to give this new epic Diacama ant colony a name. Leave your suggestions in the comment section, and I will choose my top favorites for us to vote on together in a future video. Let's give them a cool and fitting name. Just as we recently welcomed our new black dragons a few weeks ago, we now welcome these incredible and unique Diacama ants as beloved residents to the channel. Ants that I've been extremely eager to introduce to you. I'm really hoping they succeed and continue to do well. But now we see family. Some shocking news. They always say, great things come in threes. The black dragons of Eldragon, these Diacama ants of the Shire, and at the celestial birth of these kingdoms was also born another epic ant kingdom.
Dampers.
BC family, behold the Shire's twin domain, known as the Grove.
Bear Dampers.
That's right. Another ant colony.
Come here, boy. Dampers, come here. Come here.
Oh boy, just when you thought it couldn't get any more interesting, our Antiverse is diversifying with new colonies and more epic ant discoveries. I cannot wait for you guys to meet this next equally as cool ant colony. Stay tuned for next week's episode. And hey, if you're fans of some of the long-standing colonies of this channel, don't you worry. Big plans are coming up for some of your favorite OG ant colonies of this channel. So make sure you don't miss the episodes coming up. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the action. And hit that bell icon to be notified. Remember to also hit the like button every single time, including now. AC in our colony, I have left a hidden cookie for you here for special clues as to what the ant species of our third new colony is. See if you can figure it out before everyone else. Also, I would like to quickly plug my new daily vlogging channel with daily vlogs for those curious about what I work on between these weekly ant videos. The thanks to all AC family who've already subscribed. Now about the issue of 2 videos a week. Last week, I ran a poll to ask what you guys wanted, and as expected, by a landslide, you guys wanted 2 videos a week. So it is going to take some time, but I am definitely trying to work on something. In the meantime, feel free to browse through some of my older videos that you may not have seen. For example, have you guys played my fully interactive choose your own adventure style ant game, where you get to be an ant and wander around the Hacienda del Dorado? Watch it here. There are plenty of fun ant videos on this channel that are waiting for you to watch them. Okay, and now it's time for the AC question of the week. Last week we asked, what does brackish water mean? Congratulations to Frederic Caher, who correctly answered, brackish water is water that is part freshwater and part saltwater. Congratulations, Frederic, you just won a free ebook handbook from our shop. In this week's AC question of the week, we ask, what makes these diacama ants different from bullet ants? Leave your answer in the comment section, and you could also win a free ebook handbook from our shop. Hope you can subscribe to the channel as we upload every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video to help us keep making more. It's at love forever. Family, some shocking news. They always say great things come in threes. The black dragons of Eldragon, these diacama ants of the Shire, and at the celestial birth of these kingdoms was also born another epic ant kingdom. AC family, behold the Shire's twin domain, known as the Grove.
Okay.
That's right. Another ant colony.
I do it. Every time Mama closes her phone thing, that's it.
Please subscribe to my
You're so
channel and
predictable.
hit the bell icon. Welcome to the AC family. Enjoy. As I
Then the next thing,
it can sometimes
Jaja,
be easy to
give me a
feel
pillow
like gods.
in the bag.
In complete cosmic control over a universe
wait
in
for
which
it,
live
wait
thousands
for it.
or even millions
No pillow here,
of
Tata.
precious lives under our care. After all, we as the ant keepers actively control the environments our ants live in. We control their food. We control their life events.
Grabe,
And like
Google.
omniscient
So hard
beings,
research sa
managing
mga
all
ants I know.
aspects of their
Oh, yeah.
universe. We set up the stage to
And
induce
now
them
I
to
was
do
so very...
what we
I'm
want
so
them to do.
tempted to
Like
do
moving
what
to a
he
new home we
does.
took the time to create for them. For the most part,
There's more to
ants
it,
can be
you know?
predictable, doing exactly what we plan for them to do.
Yeah, but you don't like
But
to
as
read
we
it
have seen many
video,
times on
Tata.
this channel, sometimes it's when we underestimate
Not only
the ants
that, no,
that the
yeah,
ants completely shock us.
he's so
This is
scientific
exactly what
about
happened to me with this
ants
ant
and
colony
bugs and
I'm about
fish.
to introduce to you, which managed to disappear without a trace. And believe me, you will want to keep on watching until the end for the big, shocking, and amazing
Keep on
revelation.
watching. Mura siya gone ba?
Our epic story begins here,
Yung tingog
in
na
the
mura din
Grove,
siya ganang
a
gamit na.
tropical forest groundscape I fashioned and designed with
Yeah.
care
No.
to be the future home of our third new ant colony this year. It contains some attractive peperomia and maranta vegetation with ornamental pieces of driftwood, along with a cute miniature species of Telangia. A great red rock cliff made a statement at the center of the grove. I couldn't wait to introduce our new ants into these lush, virgin territories. In last week's video, I gave you teasers in our hidden video as to what this special new ant species we'd be introducing to the channel is, providing you clues in the form of a riddle. So AC family, very quickly, let's revisit the riddle. In the night, you'll find them hunting. When it's cool and moon is out, once seen in Bornean jungles, these ants, without a doubt, are likely found where you live, in holes near hills of dust. They're hated by the world, but completely loved by us. These brand new ants are special. They're natives, not a trap. Can you guess what new ants shall be setting up their camp? I was delighted to see that a lot of UAC family submitted some very worthy guesses. Let's see if you got it right. Within this test tube lies our new fledgling ant colony, waiting to meet you. AC family, it is with immense pleasure and excitement that I introduce to you our new precious friends. Behold, our brand new carpenter ants. Look at how gorgeous they are. So many workers. Here you'll see workers of various sizes, and they tend lovingly to healthy brood piles. And that right there, nestled cozily in the middle of all of them, is Her Royal Highness, their queen. Just magnificent. I just love their rusty orange-brown color. As indicated by the riddle, this particular species of carpenter ant is mostly nocturnal, which is true for most of the carpenter ants native to my particular region of the world in Southeast Asia. At night, many insects emerge when it's cooler, which also means better feeding. So these insects are indeed night owls. We actually saw some impressive carpenter ants in a previous live stream on this channel of a nighttime trek through the Borneo jungle last year. What's amazing about this particular genus of ant is that they are found pretty much worldwide. I am certain the majority of you out there has seen a carpenter ant at some point in your lives. Sadly, many carpenter ant species, as their name suggests, build their nests in wood, making them very notorious house pests, often leaving their piles of sawdust beneath their nest entrances, as they don't eat the wood, unlike termites. But for ant keepers, they're a universal favorite because they're large, easy to keep, common, and are even polymorphic, meaning their workers come in different sizes and shapes. Just take a look at the various sizes of workers seen in this starting ant colony. We have large majors with bigger heads, and more slender minors with small heads. And pretty soon, we can expect the massive super majors to arrive. Oh, I just can't wait. They are a very diverse and widespread genus, and are generally not classified as tramp or invasive ants in the areas they are found, but play important biological roles in the ecosystems they belong to. So, AC family, there you have it. The ants that'll be setting up camp in the grove are our new Camponotus ants. Our new carpenter ants. You'll need a name too, guys, so you know the drill. Leave your name suggestions in the comments, and I will choose my top 5 favorites for us to vote on in a future video. Now, I've been keeping carpenter ants my whole life, and I'm very familiar with their care, so naturally I was confident these ants here were gonna be a breeze to care for. But little did I know, these ants were about to give me the surprise of my life. It was time to move them into the grove. Now, these particular carpenter ants, whose queen and studding workers were collected from my area, were found living inside a rotting bamboo stick. So I tried my best to duplicate that habitat in the grove by fixating a hollowed out bamboo stick right up against the glass, in hopes the carpenter ants would move into here, where we can still see them. My feeling was that this was going to be easy, and the move would be straightforward. The upper portion of the grove was already lined with a layer of fluon barrier to keep these carpenter ants inside. AC family, are you ready to do this? It's time to move our brand new ants into their new home. I placed the exposed test tube inside the grove, making sure the opening of the test tube was close to the area where I had hoped the ant colony would move into, atop the hollow bamboo, which I covered on the outside with black paper to make the inside of the bamboo nice and dark. Alright, and now to remove the cotton. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. The ants seemed reluctant at first. Come on, ladies. Come out. Trust me, you will love it in here. Decided to wander out and step onto grove territory. And surprisingly directly into the darkness of the hollow bamboo. I couldn't believe it. This was too easy. I told you I knew carpenter ants, didn't I? This started an entire chain reaction, with the message of a cool new home spreading throughout the colony, and the ants began to pick up and relocate. Workers carried brood into the bamboo hollow, and in less than 20 minutes, the entire ant colony had moved in. Checking the test tube, and I was pleased to discover it had been almost completely evacuated, with remaining workers urging stubborn ants to move in with the rest of them into the bamboo and bringing back remaining leftover brood. This move was too easy, and I already knew keeping this new carpenter ant colony would be enjoyable. That was until I decided to peek into the bamboo hollow. You won't believe what I saw. AC family, our carpenter ants, had vanished. What? Where did they go? I literally watched them move the entire colony into the bamboo. I looked around in all possible crevices, under and at the ends of the bamboo. There was no sign of our new ant colony. Where could they have gone? I tried my best not to panic. They had to be in there somewhere, right? I assumed that eventually, come feeding time, I would see workers foraging, and I could easily just follow them to wherever they were nested. Night fell, and on the first night, I placed in some of my sweetest, most irresistible honey, and a pre-killed baby cockroach. There was no sign of carpenter ants. In fact, despite leaving food out for the ants every single night, there was no sign of ants anywhere. After 3 days of disappearance, I was really concerned. Then a week went by with no ants seen anywhere. Then 2 weeks. When almost 3 weeks went by, I was losing hope. Had the ants gone into some kind of remission due to unstable habitat? I was so sure they were going to love the grove. Were my food offerings not right? Perhaps the temperature or humidity of their home? Maybe they were dying out due to unfavorable conditions I didn't take into consideration. Could they have escaped? My mind went wild thinking up the most dire scenarios, and I was close to completely tearing the grove apart in hopes to find our ants. Suddenly, I received flashbacks of searching for our titans, desperately digging through the Garden of Eden. Should I try going to ground to search for our new ants? Ultimately, I decided to hold back a little bit longer. One day I decided to water the plants of the grove, as I realized in my complete worry, I had actually forgotten to water the plants over the past few weeks. And AC family, will you believe this? As I did it, I realized that some of the water was draining down a very discreet and diminutive opening in the ground, beneath the great rock cliff at the center of the grove. There was a hole here. Suddenly, some movement caught my eye. To my utter surprise, behind the rock, I saw our missing carpenter ants, who were now surfacing to avoid the waters entering their nest, which I now knew was somewhere beneath this great rock cliff. Wow, they were here all along. How did they get here? And how did they survive so long without food? So many questions. But I was totally relieved that our carpenter ants were actually alive and well all this time. And soon, look who else decided to make an appearance. Her Royal Carpentry Highness herself. The Queen. Man, these ants, even in this state of rained-out nest protocol, were absolutely beautiful to watch. Look at how their exoskeletons just glisten in the light. It was then that I also noticed that some of the workers had fully extended gasters, just filled with stored food. Oh, so this is how the colony was surviving all this time. These ants had replates, special workers designed to be living food stores for the rest of the colony. The ants must have sent out workers discreetly on some nights to consume some of the food I left out for them, and deposited the pre-digested food into these replates via regurgitational mouth-to-mouth transfer. An awesome thing social insects do called trophallaxis. How clever of them. Now, I make sure to feed them near their nest opening, and this time, if I'm lucky, I actually catch them eating, But the one question that remained unanswered was how did the ants teleport from the bamboo to their location under the rock? Well, last night, I randomly decided to place food on top of the bamboo, just to make it not so easy for the ants, to make them workable. And to my surprise, the ants came, but they emerged from within the bamboo. Aha! This told me that on the night of their move, they must have also begun to excavate a tunnel underground that they dug eventually all the way to beneath the central rock cliff. Wow! This means they did all of that within 20 minutes. Before the final workers were evacuated from their tube on the night of their move, the majority of the colony was already deep in the soil and far from our view. They completely hacked us, AC family. Now that is a display of incredible digging speed, and also a great reminder to me that perhaps my idea of being the Lord of the Ants is not an accurate depiction of our real relationship. My relation to the ants I care for is more of a partnership, where I provide the ants with the things they need to survive, and they offer us an exclusive peek into the workings of nature, but not on our terms, on theirs. They choose what they want to do, where they want to go, what they want to eat, and when. I was totally okay with this relationship, and I reminded myself that as long as I remembered that ant keeping was a partnership, the ants would continue to satisfy our deepest intrigue for nature voyeurism and curiosity. And speaking of this delicate and important partnership, it seems one of our biggest ant colonies on this channel has been long deserving of their own territory upgrade and expansion, and many of you have also shared this sentiment. AC family, you guys demanded for an update on the most famous and long-standing ants on this channel. The Fire Nation, our massive and ravenous fire ant colony. These ants are the OGs of the Ants Canada Ant Channel, and it was time to give them a new home. And so, AC family, I would like to introduce to you a great new kingdom where fire and water shall meet. AC family, behold, the Selva de Fuego, the jungle of fire. Here we go, AC family. Things are about to heat up. Our very own Fire Nation is about to move into a brand new, upgraded home. The largest paludarium setup I've ever made. And trust me, you won't want to miss this huge Fire Ant episode. So hit that subscribe button and bell icon now to be notified. And hit the like button every single time, including now. AC Inner Colony, I have left a hidden cookie for you here if you would just like to watch some super satisfying extended play footage of our new Campanotis ants moving in and feeding. Trust me, it's super relaxing and therapeutic watching the ants. So go ahead and give it a try. You never know what you might find in these hidden videos. Also, I would like to plug my new daily vlogging channel for those curious about what I do between these weekly ant videos. Daily vlogs of my travels around the world and often contains a lot of science and biology. Alright, and now it's time for the AC question of the week. Last week we asked, what makes Diacama ants different from bullet ants? Congratulations too! Well, I don't know how to pronounce this username, but here was the post, and I have left a response to it. Anyway, correct answer was, Diacama ants are different from bullet ants because they are in a different genus, and Diacama don't have queens. Congratulations, ant lover, you just won a free ebook handbook from our shop. In this week's AC question of the week, we asked, what does polymorphic mean? Leave your answer in the comment section, and you could also win a free ebook handbook from our shop. By the way, guys, for those of you in North America and Europe, the season to find queen ants has officially started. If you want to keep ants and don't want to go completely high-tech, check out the easy-to-use ant farms and ant-keeping kits we offer at antcanada.com. We've been designing and making ant farms for almost a decade and ship all our products worldwide with full email customer support if you ever have any questions. I would love for you guys to keep ads with me. Hope you can subscribe to the channel as we upload every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video to help us keep making more. It's Ant Love forever.